Hello and welcome to Universe Mode. This is Smackdown something date. I'm not even going to begin to estimate at this point. We are a few days removed now. It is about still 5 days removed from No Mercy. What a questionable pay-per-view that was. They had some great matches on it for sure, but there are so many talking points to discuss here from Unknown, the greatest state in the United States. We're gonna have, like I said, we're gonna have a lot to talk about, and I think this, we're gonna get to decide who the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania is for sure when Sami, Zayn, and John Cena battle, which I'm very much looking forward to. The winner, of course, getting their hands on the Beast Brock Lesnar, but then the main event, very questionable, because you got the man who, of course, didn't win the Intercontinental Championship in Kevin Owens, but you've got the man to discuss right now, the talking point, really, of SmackDown's brand, Randy Orton. For those of you who did not see No Mercy, which I heavily advise because it was a great show, Randy Orton, for whatever reason, stabbed Kyle O'Reilly in the back, hit him with an RKO. He did not reveal himself to be a new member of the Dangerous Alliance. He just did not want to be with Kyle O'Reilly anymore for whatever reason. The team seems to have come to an end. That seems to be all said and done right now. There seems to be no more such thing as a what's the word I'm looking for? Wow, I'm blanking heavily there. There's no such evolution, it seems. Well, with, it'd just be Kyle O'Reilly and Teddy DiBiase at that point. We're not too sure why Randy Orton has done what he's done. There's been no word from Orton. He has said nothing. He is showing nothing. We have not heard from Kyle O'Reilly either. However, I can reveal, of course, as you saw, Randy Orton will be in the main event. And for whatever reason, even though he will not talk, Randy Orton wants to wrestle. But as it currently stands, Orton has a reason to wrestle as well, because according to the rankings, Orton is the number one contender due to the fact that he knocked off Bobby Fish on the Smackdown before No Mercy. That really helped him out, that really assisted him, and it's given him leverage. And for all we know, Randy Orton could head into WrestleMania vying for an opportunity at the WWE Championship. Obviously, we've not heard the official word from the SmackDown committee or anything regarding that, but we'll see what's going to happen as time goes on. But we're going to kick things off right now. I'll get into more about the Randy Orton saga, I think, at a later point in the night, but we got a match that was supposed to be on No Mercy. James Storm against Drew Galloway. The Revolution once again having difficulties with one another, and they're looking to resolve it, and hopefully from this they can strengthen themselves as a team, get back to being united, and get on the front to go in for those WWE Tag Team titles once more. There was I'll talk about this because this is one of the heavy talking points at No Mercy. Galloway and Storm, like I said, they were supposed to have a match, they were ready and all, and then all of a sudden the match isn't happening because along comes, from my brand, from ECW, along comes Austin Aries. Makes his way out. Aries, of course, not advertised to be there at all, not anticipated to be there, just showed up in the middle of nowhere. And before you know it, he calls out CM Punk. Pretty plain and simple. He called out Punk, said he wanted him at WrestleMania in a rematch from 2 years ago. Punk agreed to it, and it has been confirmed. I know on ECW I said we were trying to get everything sorted out, but in between these last 24 hours, I can reveal that it's been all sorted and 100% official. At WrestleMania, Austin Aries will take on CM Punk in a match that I simply cannot wait for. I am beyond ecstatic to see that match between those two men. However, of course, we did not, due to that altercation between the two, we didn't get to see these two men go at it, so that's why we're kicking the SmackDown off with this match, and it's a good thing, really, because, usually, especially, since the reintroduction of the women, we have a women's match on the show. That is not the case tonight, because SmackDown's run out of women, is the pretty simple way of putting it. Sasha Banks is out, Charlotte doesn't want to fight, Trish doesn't want to fight, Natalya doesn't want to fight, Nia Jax is in a critical condition, it was in a crippled condition, fair play, following No Mercy. And that kind of just leaves Winter. So they thought it was best to give Winter the week off. So yeah, there we go. And obviously, and I left one person out. Nikki Bella definitely didn't want to fight Winter either, because she had been crippled by I think when well, not that long ago. It was either Nia or Winter who crippled Nikki Bella. Yeah, they kind of have no women, is the difficulty right now. That was the result. That's the aftermath of the war between Winter and Nia Jax, which of course Winter came out on top of at No Mercy, powerbombing Nia Jax onto an executive's desk and the 3 count, and almost getting a little bit of revenge against Nia Jax because she did the very same thing to Sasha Banks, and Sasha Banks is currently unknown about her condition. So with that being said, what can we expect tonight? Well, I'll tell you. After this, Razor Ramon's going to be taking on Kenny Omega, which should be a very interesting affair. Then we got a tag team matchup. The new Cruiserweight Champion Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio taking on the Revival. And then, of course, the advertised matches. #1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship between Cena and Zayn. And then Owens and Orton to main event. Yes, tonight's Smackdown featuring no champions whatsoever. The only show, the only show this week to feature no champions at all. So that's pretty interesting. Every single show, ECW and Raw this week had all their male champions on it, and SmackDown does not have that. I know Eddie Guerrero is in action, and I know he's the Cruiserweight Champion, but the Cruiserweight Championship is not exclusive to SmackDown, of course. It is an all-brands title. So they have none of their champions in action here tonight, which is very interesting as well, considering, of course, at No Mercy, no titles changed hands, and they couldn't, especially in the case of the WWE Championship, because he was refusing to defend it. But we go back to this matchup here between Storm and Galloway. It's certainly been a fairly back and forth affair. I don't know if these guys are going hard on one another or not. They seem to be kind of playing it light. I'm not too sure why, but it just doesn't seem as if they're going all out. Maybe I was wrong. That was Galloway hits the gut check down on the James Storm and might be looking to end this one. Might be looking to prove that he is the better man of the Revolution. Drew Galloway hooks in the arms and hits the Future Shock DDT, driving his head down into the mat, and it'll be a cover by Drew Galloway for 1, 2, and not a 3 count as James Storm powers out. You gotta think if the winner can get the 3 count legitimately and cleanly, or the submission, you never know. If they can get it legitimately and cleanly, that's gotta finish off any kind of cascading doubts about this duo. It's got to come to an end of who's the better man, because at that point they'll have sorted it out, really. If you do it cleanly, you've finished the argument, and then it's back to just being a tag team, back to focusing on getting those titles back, as James Storm looks to load up the last call super kick, and he definitely didn't get all of it. Don't know if he was just thinking instinctively there as he went for it. But, to be fair, that didn't really happen. That did not really connect how Storm wanted it to, but he's keeping the offense going here. Oh, James Storm kind of confused, doesn't really know what to go for right now. Stomp on the back, and Storm's doing a run around. Everybody do the mess around. James Storm going to hit up the top rope. Very uncharacteristic of James Storm, but he's going to take flight. Big splash by Storm. And he's going to go for a pin right after it. Will that finish Galloway? There's 1, 2, 3. It does. Well, there it is. James Storm is victorious. Storm is your winner. And I think, it wasn't exactly the finishing maneuver, but I think that has to end off any doubts at this point. They've let this go on a little bit too long now, and with WrestleMania around the corner, you are going to want to have a working team, because there is no #1 contender decided. So you're going to want to just sort your problems out and get right back to normal. And I think Storm's victory may have resolved that, and who knows, we could see the Revolution in tag team action next week, proving they are a stronger and more united unit. That's what I hope to see. It'll depend, though, on if they believe it is truly sorted out. But we're going to move on to our next contest here. Razor Ramon and Kenny Omega. This should be an interesting affair. Ramon, of course, had disappeared for 2 years, as per the words of JDL. But if you pay attention to this universe and you pay attention to what he looks like, and you actually take 2 seconds to realize it, you'd know this is Scott Hall. Spoilers! But anyway, Ramon heads towards the ring. I have no problem. I never had a problem with Ramon. Sorry, Hall. I'm going to keep on calling him Hall. I never had a problem with Hall when he was in the New World Order. Always said he was a talented individual. And he has the opportunity to prove it here against a man who, at No Mercy, you could argue had the match of the night. It was a phenomenal contest between Sami, Zayn, and Kenny Omega to kick off the show. Zayn got the win, and therefrom it, the #1 contendership opportunity to challenge Brock Lesnar. However, not all is said and done for Kenny Omega. As we announced on ECW, I think I announced that in No Mercy as well, the King of the Ring is now just a week away at this point. It's only well, to be fair, with how late this video is going up, it's probably only 7 days away, but it's an opportunity for men to prove themselves, and Smackdown have decided that Kenny Omega is going to go to that event. Omega will go to King of the Ring. He will be one of SmackDown's choices, and I think that's a very strong pick for the SmackDown brand. Heading into King of the... Oh. Hello. Matt Jackson in the background. One member of the Young Bucks. Seems to be another arm there. Is that Nick? I couldn't tell anything. The camera didn't get a close-up shot on it as I was expecting, but as Omega heads towards the ring here, camera's solely focused on him right there. That took me long enough to get it. I can't really see the... I mean, yes, it is. The Young Bucks are accompanying him to the ring. Alright, this is interesting. Not really too sure what I'm expecting from this. But Omega and the Young Bucks at rings... Well, the Young Bucks are ringside for this contest. I wouldn't like to estimate as to why they're at ringside, but certainly interesting to say the least. I will go that far. There they are. Matt and Nick Jackson just standing out there. This may have thrown Razor Ramon off slightly and may have deteriorated him from his game plan. Who knows? But I was not expecting to see those two men at ringside. Very, very interesting affairs going on SmackDown here right now. But nevertheless, we've got to try and focus on this matchup while also thinking as to why the Young Bucks would be out there. You know, the Young Bucks certainly have shown that they are a fan of the Bullet Club, as you can see by their attire. So, maybe this is some kind of Bullet Club fan club thing. I don't know, but there's another dig by Kenny Omega. We certainly saw this, I think, last week when he took on Ty Dillinger, that Styles Clash. Taking kind of a shot, a pot shot, you could say, at the one half of the World Tag Team Champions in AJ Styles. And, of course, if you follow Monday Night Raw, you'd know my true opinion on AJ Styles. Also, I forgot to say, speaking of AJ Styles and Raw, you're probably wondering, oh, where's the corrupt one? He's ill. Bless his poor cotton socks, so he decided not to show up. You know, well, that hasn't deterred me. Well, it has deterred me in the past, but, you know, it hasn't deterred me recently. Hard-working man, work through the illnesses, but no. Take a break because you're ill. It's no worries. It's not like you've taken enough breaks recently anyway. It's not like I've had to cover for you week in and week out before. And it's not like I'm going to have to do it in the future anyway. The things I do to keep this show afloat, huh? Kenny Omega there with a nice running slam into the corner. Going to follow up here with a trip up top. Razor Ramon might be in trouble here. Moonsault, but Ramon knew he was incoming. Kind of looks like he took a little too long to get out of the ring. To execute that moonsault, and that certainly gave him enough time to roll out of the way. Back in they go there. Smart tactic by Omega. Rolled out of the ring so that when Razor came in after him, he could have an advantage over him. He could have leverage. Ramon struggling to get himself going in this matchup right now. Omega certainly having his number. You got to think that the loss last week, not last week, at No Mercy to Sami Zayn has something to do with it. Kind of some build-up frustration on the part of Kenny Omega. As he hits the top rope again, and there it is. This time executing that moonsault. There's that frustration of Omega trying to choke out Razor Ramon. Omega also got to look to try and build momentum on the route to King of the Ring. We don't know who the second member is for Friday Night SmackDown, and we don't know any other members actually for Raw. All we know is right now is Tommaso Ciampa and Kenny Omega, who will be at that event, who will be competing for the King of the Ring. And of course, if you want to know how prestigious the King of the Ring is to this universe, take a look at last year's winner. That man was Tyler Breeze, and now this year, he is just 4 weeks away from main eventing the grandest stage of them all. Razor Ramon now going to hit up the top rope. Very uncharacteristic here. Don't always see Razor go up high. This could be a risky move by the bad guy. Razor flies and hits that clothesline though. Decking Kenny Omega, but Omega's right up to his feet. And now, look at this, it's the chokeslam by Hall, sending Omega crushing down to the mat, and now, all of a sudden, the momentum shifts into Ramon's corner. Razor's Edge on its way. Razor Ramon, no, Omega able to time it right, gets his way out of it. But Razor Ramon, not look, that is work, that is pure, I think that's world-class talent there by Razor Ramon, how quickly he was able, after being countered, to just get that chin lock and buy himself some breathing room. Ramon rolls out. Got to give credit to the Young Bucks. They haven't got themselves intervened in this matchup. They've kept their own. Looking for that Hadouken punch there was Kenny Omega. Certainly doesn't have enough time to execute it against Ramon. Good counter by Kenny. He takes flight. Oh, crossbody there. Kenny Omega now spins around. No, he only to spin him back around. He was using this move against Sami Zayn. Might look to use it against Razor and finish him off with a cross-legged brainbuster. Down on a Razor Ramon. Is it enough to finish this contest? He's dragging him into the middle of the ring. No, he doesn't think it is. Kenny Omega still believes there's one bit of work to do on the road to King of the Ring. Holds him up in that electric chair position and brings him down. Not even too sure what he calls it, but Omega nails him and he gets the 3 count with it. Kenny Omega, your winner. And certainly now with this duo at ringside, Matt and Nick Jackson, will this be some kind of new threatening force for Friday Night SmackDown to deal with? Is this some kind of new problem for SmackDown to deal with? These 3 men, with the altercations going on between Raw and the Bullet Club, will these 3 men try and launch their own kind of initiative and follow in the Bullet Club's footsteps? I don't know, but if they want to try, they have got 3. They got 3 titles to try and go for, all of them held by incredible athletes. So best of luck with that one, boys. Perhaps for now, you should focus on King of the Ring. But we're going to move on to our tag team contest. Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio to take on the Revival. Here comes the new Cruiserweight Champion, his second match in just as many days. As Eddie heads towards the ring here, we'll be able to see what he looks like with that Cruiserweight Championship around his waist now. There it is. Looks quite well on Eddie, has to be said. Eddie will be defending his championship, I believe, a few weeks before WrestleMania, about 2 weeks from WrestleMania, so just under 2 weeks from now. And of course, if you want to see who he will take on, either leave a vote in the comments here or go back to the ECW video and leave a comment there. Of course, as it currently stands, Kota Ibushi cannot be voted for as he is the former Cruiserweight Champion. Great number of Cruiserweights to choose from, and of course, I can plug that into our next upcoming series, the Cruiserweight Tournament that will be taking place a few weeks from now. Not a few weeks from now, a few days from now, hopefully. If Mr. JDL can get himself out of being a lazy twat. We should be able to see a lot of Cruiserweights going at it, and that should help build some more talent for this Cruiserweight division. And eventually bring some more class to the Cruiserweight Championship. Well, right now here comes Rey Mysterio, looking to get himself back on the winning column as well, looking to get his team some momentum, perhaps looking to make this team the one to face the Dangerous Alliance at WrestleMania. Reigns and Henry had a pretty successful title defense against the Nation of Violence inside that steel cage. Didn't last that long, but Reigns' performance in that one certainly was strong enough to hold on to the titles for them. Kruger and Henry just kind of got out of there as quickly as they could. And so that led to them retaining, of course, but yeah, it was Reigns and Joe really left in there, and Reigns' performance was enough to hold on to the titles for them, and then Reigns went on later in the night, of course, to fill in that tag team spot for Bobby Fish. And it led to another victory as well. So it was a good night for Roman Reigns, a great night for the Dangerous Alliance, and it got even better when Randy Orton hit that RKO onto Kyle O'Reilly. Still a lot of unanswered questions about that one, and I hope we get those answers as quickly as possible, because with WrestleMania only, well, at this point 3 weeks away, it is crunch time really to find out what is going to take place. I mean, we've got, depending on when this goes up, hopefully it goes up on time, we've got pretty much exactly 21 days until the grandest stage of them all. There'll only be 3 Smackdowns left after this, and as it currently stands, we have no idea who'll be taking on the WWE Tag Team Champions, and we'll have no idea who'll be taking on Bobby Fish either. The Dangerous Alliance kind of heading into an unknown when it comes to WrestleMania. And that, that can't be said for a whole lot of brands, the rest of the brands. We know what's taking place on ECW. We know that 2 weeks from now, we got the tag title affair between the Ascension and the Dirty Heels. We got Cesaro and Wade Barrett having their rematch, and we got Diamond Dallas Page and Seth Rollins. Of course, on Raw as it currently stands, we know the main event for sure. I'm assuming if JDL has common sense and is able to wipe his eyes away from the corruption for a second, he will give the Bullet Club their rematch on the grandest stage of them all. And then the United States Championship's kind of the only real unknown one, so we don't really know what's taking place in that affair. But I would hope that the winners of this matchup will certainly get some leverage heading into WrestleMania. I mean, if we were to take a guess right now, I'd say WWE Tag Team titles, I couldn't tell you, to be fair. I have no idea. WWE Championship, I'd guess Orton at this point, because he is the #1 contender, and there seems to be no word about Kyle O'Reilly backstage. There's whispers about how he is and what he, whether or not he'll be around for a while, but there's no one saying they've seen O'Reilly, no one saying they've talked to O'Reilly. It's all just unknowingness regarding him, so I would assume Randy Orton might be getting the opportunity at WrestleMania. And on top of that, of course, we got Austin Aries and CM Punk, which I cannot wait for, and a cruiserweight matchup that'll be taking place as well. You can be sure at that event. Meanwhile, nice Boston Crab here by Eddie, kind of looking more like a lion tamer than what is a Boston Crab. His good friend Chris Jericho, of course, will probably be alright with that, I assume. Scott Dawson there, I should say, trying to take an upper hand, trying to get a go-behind maneuver there, but it was not happening. However, it is going to be a suplex back into the ring here, courtesy of Scott Dawson, who makes the tag now into Dash Wilder. A little bit of a slow start for the Revival in a matchup that is completely to do with their catchphrase. Of course, the Revival go around saying no flips, just fists. Well, this is a team that you could argue is certainly made up of its lucha libre high-flying attitude. And the Revival, if they can get a win here, I think would certainly go some way towards proving that no flips and just fists is better. Oh, here we go now. Dash Wilder going to work with that backbreaker. Fireman's carry backbreaker. Nasty maneuver. The cover here now, trying to put away Eddie early on, and it's only a 2 count. Good idea to try and isolate Eddie Guerrero in this matchup, of course, considering he is only a few days removed. Well, he's actually 1 day removed right now from that matchup against Kota Ibushi. I know he had quite a lot of offense in that matchup, and I know he made it look easy, but still, when you're involved in the ring, when you're in the ring and you have to go to work, you are going to feel some lingering effects. And I think that is what has taken place here. Here we go now, tag made. Scott Dawson in the ring. What? Oh, this is looking like a nasty double team maneuver by the Revival. Oh, an assisted pile driver there. Spiking Eddie on the top of his head. Certainly trying to turn that head into mush ahead of the Shatter Machine. Which you can imagine the Revival are looking to hit sooner rather than later, to try and get an early win, because the problem is if Rey gets in that matchup, that is fresh legs, that is quick ability as well, which the Revival may struggle to ground. And with that spin heel kick reversal, here comes the fresh legs. Rey Mysterio tagged in now. And it begs the question. Oh, wow. That was great by Dawson there. He was able to didn't really get all that clothesline. Kind of stumbled into Mysterio's path, but was able to just fake out Rey and duck under that spin heel kick. And now the Revival look to try and get themselves back into control. Look at this now by Dawson. Brainbuster to Mysterio. Eddie Guerrero with that Cruiserweight Championship win, just one title away from becoming a Grand Slam champion, requiring the WWE Tag Team titles, and who knows, a win here tonight could go a long way towards assisting Eddie Guerrero in achieving that Grand Slam championship. Rey Mysterio there with an arm drag. Dawson, I think that's a smart idea, rolling out of the ring there, was in a locked situation really. He was in the corner. Didn't look like he had any way he could try and get out of it. I know he has a weight advantage over Mysterio, but Rey is, you know, he's on top of being a great technical wrestler, a great high-flying wrestler. He has technical ability. He can keep you in that corner and he can go to work, and that is what happens when you roll out of the ring. Look at it, advantage Revival right away. It's back in their court. Not too sure why he's going after the arm. I'd more like to go after the leg, to be fair. That would do a great job of grounding him. Into the turnbuckle again, looking for a tag team move, but Rey counters it, only to get countered again there by Dash Wilder. Dash certainly had, I would argue, the better performance of the two so far in the ring, and again, that fireman's carry backbreaker. Digging in. Rey Mysterio's back. You take away that back, you make that back hurt, and they are not going to want to take high-flying risks. So that will certainly be an advantage as well. Dash Wilder going over that top rope. Looked like he might fall for a second, and Rey Mysterio backing up and makes the tag into Eddie. Dash tried to stop that. Couldn't. Much to his chagrin, I imagine, and now Eddie Guerrero back in the ring. Good counter there, and once again Dash Wilder going to the back. That backbreaker, all the pain it must do. And another one being delivered to Eddie Guerrero as well, and you can see the effect the Revival have had in this matchup. Rey hanging onto that rope on the outside. He does not look good. Advantage certainly Revival in this matchup as they keep going with their tag team repertoire. Nice move here on the way, I assume. Oh no, it's the Shadow Machine down on the Guerrero. The Shadow Machine could be the one to finish it. That knee right in the face. The cover by Dawson. But it's a kick out of two by the Cruiserweight Champion. Eddie Guerrero's been in too many wars and has achieved too much success in this universe to be finished by one Shadow Machine. And now Eddie looking to fire up another move here, looking to get some sort of comeback going. Brainbuster by Mysterio. Mysterio? Guerrero. There we go. Don't know why I was thinking of Rey there. He was on the floor on the outside. Cover by Eddie. Dead center, middle of the ring. Will this one put away Dawson? I don't know. And we will never know because Dash Wilder in to break it up and save his tag team partner. Eddie going to go up top. He might look for that frog splash. No, it's a great save by Dash Wilder, who kicks off Eddie Guerrero from the top rope. Keeping his team alive there with an incredible save. Dawson now with the time to get back up to his feet and almost return to a level playing field. And a German suplex for Guerrero upon getting up to his feet. Dawson now chucking Guerrero back in the corner, segregating him away from Mysterio, making sure to lock him in their corner and just pound away on the former ECW champion. It's going to be another Shadow Machine for Guerrero. This one by Dawson Wilder, I should say, the pin, but Ray isn't there to intervene, and luckily for the team, Dash Wilder kicks out at Eddie Guerrero kicks out at 2. I'm all over the place with names right now, not too sure what's going on. It's another cover this time. It's a roll up by Dash to finish this one once and for all. There's 1, 2, 3. It's a win for the Revival, and it's a win yet I would say they deserved. They were in control over the duo for the majority of the matchup, and that's what led to that pinfall victory. You can see the success from the Revival in that victory. You can see the success they want to achieve in their eyes. The Revival wanting to take over SmackDown, wanting to lift those WWE Tag Team titles, and who knows, they may be next in line for that opportunity. I couldn't tell you, obviously. I'm not a part of the SmackDown committee, but with a win like that, I would say that would certainly go some way towards helping them out. It just all depends on if the SmackDown committee have anyone else in mind to challenge for those tag team titles, and of course whether or not if they decide that matchup is going to be at WrestleMania itself. Who knows? But a good win for the Revival as we head now into what I think will be match of the night. John Cena and Sami Zayn to collide. The #1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship up for grabs. The winner faces Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. John Cena looks for his first title in this universe. Former Money in the Bank, and I believe if I'm one of the first men, of course, to fail to cash in Money in the Bank. Cesaro had it, 2 months before him, but Cesaro's one failed under questionable circumstances, whereas Cena was legitimately beaten by Bobby Fish at TLC. Cena was involved in that match that was supposed to be a fatal 4-way before No Mercy. He did not get pinned in that contest, so therefore the SmackDown committee decided it would be best to chuck him in this match once again. Sami Zayn beat Kenny Omega, was supposed to be in that fatal 4-way, which ended up being a triple threat, of course, due to Kenny Omega's interference on Sami Zayn, and therefore has been granted the right to another opportunity to try and prove himself to become #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. And of course on top of that there is a further hunger in Sami Zayn, which I will get to in a moment. But Cena geared up and ready here in this unknown location. These unknown fans are ready to unknowingly cheer or boo John Cena. Certainly going to be interesting between these two. Who will the fans side with? Who will they cheer on in this matchup? Who do they want to see fight the Beast Brock Lesnar? I'm not being offensive here to John Cena, but I want to see Sami Zayn go to WrestleMania. Not just because of who Sami Zayn is, not just because of the underdog story that he has, but go back, and I know I'm saying this, but go back to July. Go back to Vengeance, when Sami Zayn was gearing up for a unification match against Bobby Fish. Along comes Brock Lesnar, and suplexes, and suplexes, and suplexes Sami Zayn until he could fight no longer. Brock wasn't even supposed to appear at the event. Sami Zayn was put out of action, was unable to compete up until the Royal Rumble. But what was worst off, in my opinion, of all that, Brock Lesnar took away Sami Zayn's WWE Championship. Sami Zayn was getting ready for his first title defense. The SmackDown crowd were completely behind Zayn. And as he got ready to fight Fish, instead, he had his hopes and dreams ripped away from him almost as quickly as he had achieved them. That is the hunger of Sami Zayn. That is the desire that Zayn wants to do. If Brock takes the title away from Zayn, Zayn wants to take it back. But Zayn doesn't want to just have, he doesn't want to let the title be vacated like Brock did to Sami. He wants to beat him for it. And what better way to beat Brock for it than on the grandest stage of them all? I would not complain if John Cena went to WrestleMania, but I would prefer to see Sami Zayn go on to face the Beast Incarnate, despite the fact that Brock Lesnar's on a roll, and I would argue fairly comfortably walked over Kevin Owens at No Mercy a few nights ago. Cena with a bit of a stronger start in this one over Zayn. You saw You saw in the test of strength on both occasions, Zayn just pushed him away like he was, Zayn got pushed away like he was nothing. And now he looks to try and come back. I think that at the beginning they may have fired up Sami Zayn. But Cena, they're looking to try and ground him, look to try and keep him at a distance because Zayn just has such a flurry of offense. Like we're seeing right now, all of a sudden, one moment he's on the receiving end and the next moment he's hitting a move that looks awfully like the cradle shock from the NXT champion. Cena looking for some sort of maneuver there. Great counter by Zayn. And now can Zayn take an offense? Yes, he can. He can take an offensive initiative here. Raking his boot across the face of Cena in the corner. And the crowd splitting their opinion of Cena. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks chance around the arena. Oh, 2 count there. Zayn won in this matchup. I assume to be over pretty quickly because we know the longer a match goes on, the more fired up Cena gets. And the more dangerous Cena can become, really. That desire fuels Cena more. But the same can be said for Sami Zayn. The heart that this guy has is just unbelievable. That's why I believe this is going to be match of the night. They're going to keep on going 100% all the way from the start until the finish. And it is going to be, I think, a long affair because of how well these guys are in that ring. How well tuned they are. How much resiliency they can take, the heart within both men. Nice Michinoku driver there by Zayn. Questionable as to why he didn't bridge for it and then go into the cover. Very questionable there. Pin on Cena. Referee took a long time to go for the pin there, and I think that's what enabled Cena to power out at a 1 count. Elbows there, and that busted open Cena. The head of John Cena. Wide open now, and this could be where Sami Zayn can take a further offensive, or it could be where Cena flips the tables around. Will that spillage of blood be used to fuel John Cena further on in this matchup? Not too sure right now, but Sami Zayn continuing to fight back time and time again. Zayn now with a Blue Thunder Bomb. Cover on Cena. 1, 2, and not a 3 count as Cena powers out. Cena with a, well, to be fair, not exactly the fairest of moves there. You don't usually see someone of Cena, you know, with the respect that Cena has, go to the outside and use it as an advantage to attack someone from behind. So Cena did there, and oh, he may pay for it though as he goes into the steps, courtesy of Sami Zayn. But Zayn gets sent into the steps himself, courtesy of Cena now, and a little bit of a fight continuing on here on the outside between both men. Sami Zayn, oh, sends Cena into the steps as well. Count reaching up to 6 here, hoping this one doesn't end in a double count out. Hoping these two men can return back to the ring before that 10 can continue on the match here. Elbow to the face by Cena, avoiding a collision with the barricade. Cena returns to the ring. Zayn therefore will return to the ring and the match will continue on. John Cena looked like he was prepping up for the AA there, but Sami Zayn countered it, and now Zayn has something in mind. Watch out, John Cena. Sami Zayn through the ropes. Oh, and the DDT. Jump between the bottom and the middle ropes, slip between the turnbuckles, and then that DDT down at Cena, but it's Cena the one in control as we return into the ring here. John Cena now loading up an AA, but Sami Zayn counters it. Zayn with the reversal. Cena does not look happy about that as he tries to ground Sami Zayn there. Not going to happen. Zayn with a spinebuster-esque maneuver and a pin now, only managing a 1 count. Drop kick to the back there. How much more can John Cena take? Sami Zayn has just pummeled him with offense, it has to be said, so far in this affair. The hunger that I was on about in Zayn has continued on here. If we were scoring this on points, this would currently be going to Sami Zayn in my opinion. But here goes Cena, the fight back at John Cena, the never say die attitude that Cena possesses, taking center stage right there. Spin out bomb, and now Cena loading up the 5-knuckle shuffle. He may be bloodied, he may be busted open, but Cena will not quit. 5-knuckle shuffle by Cena. But Sami Zayn counters right away. The crowd cheer, certainly the youngest part of the crowd, rallying behind John Cena. Is this the momentum that Cena needs to get the win and subsequently the opportunity at WrestleMania? Not too sure what Cena's thinking here. Turns him round. Cena locking in the STF. STF here on Sami Zayn. Dangerous submission and especially dead center in the middle of the ring. Great ring awareness there by John Cena, as he continues to have it locked in on Zayn here, and with him on top as well and a weight advantage, he can kind of control where Zayn goes. The only problem is that's going to exert more energy out of him and he won't have so much power to lock in the submission. But it certainly looks like he's doing that right now. Zayn not really making any progress towards the ropes. Will Sami Zayn be forced to tap out, or can he make it? No, he was in that submission for a long time, but somehow Zayn fights out of it, only to be grounded right away at the hands of Cena. Cena firing, we're trying to fire up with some offense there. Sami Zayn stopped him, and I don't even know what that is, like a rolling sunset flip, but it's only a 1 count. My goodness, like I said, this match 100 miles an hour from the get-go. Neither man refusing to let off. Continuing just maneuver after maneuver on one another. Cena there with a quick strike and a drop kick to floor down Sami Zayn. There's a reversal by Zayn. No, Zayn will not be able to go for anything, and neither will Cena actually. A lot of back and forth reversals taking place right here. Sami Zayn now sends him into the turnbuckle. Could be dangerous territory for John Cena. Could be a haluva kick on the way. Zayn's backing up. He's looking for it, and that little backup there gave Cena all the information he needed. And now Cena, AA to Sami Zayn. Is this WrestleMania going to be Cena and Brock? No, it won't be. The referee says Zayn got his left shoulder there up at 2. I certainly couldn't see it because Cena was in the way. And now the fire in Cena continues on. Sami's dazed, and it kind of begs the question, how much more can Sami give in this matchup? Continue to try and fight on there, but Sami Zayn pulls out the reversal. Zayn now with a half and half suplex, bringing down Cena right on his face. You can see the momentum that Sami Zayn continues to build, despite having taken the moves that he has. Sami Zayn continues to fire up here with offense, continues to keep fighting against Cena, and that time it's a haluva kick. Will it be Brock and Sami at WrestleMania? Has Sami Zayn done enough to finish off the leader of the C Nation? It's a cover. Is it all she wrote? 1, 2. No, it's not. Sami Zayn gets the shoulder up at 2. Sorry, Cena gets the shoulder up at 2. Both men kicking out of each other's finishes, and look at the blood on Cena's face. Covering his forehead now, and visibility has to be brought into question at some point. How much can Cena see under all that blood? I don't know, but what a flip. Sunset flip maneuver it was there by John Cena. It is not enough to get the job done though. Zayn once again powers out at 2. Sami Zayn now sends Cena into the corner. He better not hope he's going for the haluva kick, because the referee was taken down in amongst all that. Thankfully, it was not, as Zayn there. What a DDT! Spiking Cena on his head. Sami Zayn now into the cover. 1, 2, no. Not even a 2 count. There's the dedication of Cena. There's the heart of Cena. But what a DDT that was by Sami Zayn. What does Sami have left to give in this contest now? Up against the ropes, John Cena has something in mind. Springboard stunner to Sami Zayn. Reversal right away by Zayn though, and now Zayn getting geared up. Zayn firing himself up. Cena moves out of the way of the flying forearm, only for Sami to respond right back. Spin kick to the gut. Here goes Zayn. 1 drop kick. And another one. That matchup against Kenny Omega at No Mercy looks like he has no scars or no wars of that. No marks from that battle as he continues to pummel away on Cena here. The comeback of Sami Zayn now. Exploder suplex in the turnbuckle. Cena forces himself to the outside. Cena may not even truly know where he is right now. But he continues to try and fight. He continues to compete against Zayn. Forearm in the gut by Sami, who sends him into the turnbuckle. Sami Zayn with the Helluva Kick. A second Helluva Kick by Zayn. And now, is this all she wrote? Zayn hooks the leg to go to WrestleMania. 1, 2, 3. It is. Sami Zayn will go to WrestleMania to fight the Intercontinental Champion, Brock Lesnar. Sami's chance of revenge is here. It's taken 9 months, but Zayn will... Sorry, it's taken 8 months, but Zayn will get to have his hands on the Beast at WrestleMania and get to extract a measure of revenge by potentially taking the Beast's Intercontinental Championship away from him. What a match that was between both participants. At any moment during that match, if you could have said it gone to either one, that AA looked like it was a turning. That AA looked like it could have ended him. That STF looked like it could have ended him. The first Helluva Kick looked like it could have ended him. But the second Helluva Kick ends John Cena. And Sami Zayn is your #1 contender. And therefore will fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. What an affair that's going to be. Just like this one's going to be. Kevin Owens. A fired up Kevin Owens following his loss to Brock Lesnar at No Mercy takes on the most controversial man right now on the Smackdown roster, Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish? No, Randy Orton. Owens heads towards the ring. There's a certain look on his face. It's kind of a look of disappointment. I don't know, it's kind of a look of anger as well, though. Owens looks like he's got a little bit of a hobble in his walk. I don't really know how to word it, but it doesn't look like Owens is 100% as he heads towards the ring. I think the moves that Lesnar executed, I think he hit 3 F5s on Owens. I think that's still got an effect on KO a few nights later. And you've got to think as well, now on 3 occasions Owens has met the Beast, and on 3 occasions he has failed to end him. Must be gutting for Kevin Owens, but that is sometimes just what happens. But here comes the most controversial man on SmackDown right now. Orton heads out, and certainly he's not hearing voices in his head anymore. Maybe those were the voices that Orton hears were telling him to turn his back on O'Reilly. Certainly an older theme of Randy Orton, and one that possesses a more cocky mantra, one that possesses an arrogant attitude that I would say Randy Orton may look to possess. Certainly looks like Orton's resorted towards his old entrance as well. Orton seemed to be a little more fired up a few weeks ago, and certainly when he made his entrance at No Mercy, but now it's back to that methodical look. Now it's back to the Viper, for sure. And with that win as well over Bobby Fish last week, and with what he did at No Mercy, you gotta think Randy Orton's firing on all cylinders right now. All gears are going for Randy Orton. It is difficult to argue against the credibility of a Randy Orton. It is difficult to go against the amazing in-ring competitor that Randy Orton is. The attitude of Orton certainly, of course, as we've been able to see, needs some tweaking. But if he betrays O'Reilly and if it brings him success, like we've seen with Bobby Fish in the past, can you really argue against what he did? It's tough to say, but Orton right now going to work with some strikes on KO as this matchup gets underway. Owens, though, sending him to the outside. Owens trying to catch a quick breather. I would assume Kevin Owens has some sort of minor injury. which may help or hinder the Viper. And you saw there, it was almost like Orton knew what he was doing. He was going to let Owens hit him there, so he would take a bigger tumble when he missed that drop kick. It is unknown what is injured of Kevin Owens, but if I was a guessing man, I would assume either his back from the suplexes, his ribs from the F5, or his neck from the suplexes as well, and the landing that the F5 has on you. Certainly, I would side with the neck being nowhere near 100%, and that is a big hindrance for Kevin Owens. That neck is hurt, makes the RKO that bit more devastating. Owens trying to wrestle a slow kind of matchup here, and that's really not smart against Randy Orton. Orton is a slow wrestler. He is a methodical wrestler. You are just aiding Randy Orton here. Orton is a patient man. He will wait to strike his target. And just taking it slow gives the Viper more and more time to think about the calculated manner in which he can dissect Kevin Owens. Which certainly is worrying for the 4-time WWE Champion. I think, since Owens has been around in this universe as well as it currently stands, this is going to be the first WrestleMania without Kevin Owens on the card. That's quite heartbreaking, to be fair. Owens has been on 2 WrestleManias. He's 1-1. And this year it currently looks like there's no plans for Owens unless he gets into a team very quickly and ends up on that roster. Ends up on that card. And that's to say, I don't even know if the WWE Tag Team titles are going to be defended. But who knows, actually, if Owens gets the win here over Orton, that could put him up in the rankings. If he gets another matchup against Fish and knocks him off, that could give him the #1 contendership. And it could, for all we know, end up being Owens and Fish at WrestleMania. Or could end up being a triple threat between Owens, Orton, and Fish for the title. I love seeing Kevin Owens at WrestleMania though, so I hope he does end up on the card. Whatever Orton was looking for there was missed, and there's a Michinoku driver now by Kevin Owens. Orton though responding by slowing down Kevin Owens by bringing his momentum to a halt. Nice little strike here. Not going to happen though, as Owens sends him right back into the turnbuckle. Kevin Owens going to go off that second rope for a moonsault. Perfectly executed. Down onto Randy Orton. Look at that. Orton had lifted his head up there as he was writhing in pain. And that gives KO the opportunity to go for that suplex. This is great wrestling by Owens right now. He was on the back foot at the start, but he's turned it around a little bit more into his favor. Orton now. European uppercut from the second rope. Randy Orton, you can see it as well when he goes back into his mode. It's slow wrestling. It's a rough style, but it's slow. That's how Orton likes to fight. Orton right now just walking over to KO as opposed to running over as a lot of people would, but that didn't work because that gave KO all the time he needed to respond. Triple strikes and throws him almost into the other turnbuckle. Kevin Owens now loading up the Owens breaker. Down onto Randy Orton. Will it be a pop-up power bomb now? Will it be? No. Orton brings it to a halt immediately. And Randy Orton again with that angle slam. Well, he's on NXT, so it doesn't really make a difference. Orton, though, pounding into the mat. The Viper looks ready to strike with an RKO onto Owens, and there it is. Can Kevin Owens kick out? The RKO, is it all she wrote? It is not for Kevin Owens. He powers his way out of 2, and this matchup stays alive. But you gotta think he's groggy. You gotta think Owens is not. You know, you got that neck as well. If that neck is injured, how much more pain is it in from that RKO? How much has that RKO tweaked the neck? For this though, Owens kind of retorting any claims with that with brute offense there, with brute force. Trying to keep it on the ground here, and once again going back to this slow wrestling. Which isn't, I would argue, isn't going to work out against Randy Orton. Up on top there for a Samoan drop maybe, or some sort of Death Valley driver. Reversed by Orton with 3 elbows right on the bridge of the nose. And now Orton gearing up some sort of comeback. Nice scoops. Oh, that is a beautiful slam there by Orton. And now the methodical strikes of the Viper. Every vital limb of Kevin Owens targeted. Owens tries to get up and sent right back down. And then right across the eyes there. It looked like that one came from. Now when does Randy Orton strike again? Now when does the Viper feast? When does the Viper attack his prey with an RKO? It might not be right now, because there is another Owens breaker. Kevin Owens could have him right where he wants him. Knee into the face. If he's softening up his head like this, I would assume he's going for the package pile driver. Targeting the leg now, trying to take away that vertical standpoint of Randy Orton. And now he goes for it. Is it a pop-up powerbomb? It is a pop-up powerbomb. Not the package pile driver as I thought. Will it end Orton? 1, 2, and it's a kick out at 2. Owens thought he had it. Very late kick out there by Randy Orton. And look at that. Orton right back up to his feet there. But Owens is going to do exactly the same move to counter back. This is back and forth right now between both men. Randy Orton, I mean, you got to admit, even ever since what happened in No Mercy, he is backing up why he did it. He is looking much stronger in the ring right now. It looks like it's a more confident Randy Orton. It's an Orton that has found his spot once again. It looks like the Randy Orton who was a former world champion. The Grand Slam champion that is Randy Orton. That's the kind of Orton I'm looking at right now. And that is a much different Randy Orton. That's a better Randy Orton. I'm not trying to say that what Orton did was right, and I'm not trying to say that we should be cheering Orton for what he did at all. I'm saying, though, that it may have been beneficiary to him. Kevin Owens continuing to fight here. This has been quick back and forth reversals and maneuvers, and Orton looks to slow the pace right back down, taking him to the ropes with that DDT down on the head. And now is it on its way again? Will Orton look for the RKO on a Kevin Owens? Right, well, not right now. Owens counters that. There sends Orton into the corner. Might go for the cannibal sent on here. No, he's not. He's going to try and choke him with his boot there. Got to think if KO wins this matchup, there's going to be a little bit of happiness on the face of Kyle O'Reilly as a good friend has defeated someone who's betrayed him. But it might not be. RKO by Orton. A second RKO, and 1, 2, 3. The Viper strikes when he wants, how he wants. And Randy Orton is the winner on tonight's main event of Smackdown. The 4-time WWE champion is knocked off, and Randy Orton is your winner. That was the performance of a man who deserves to be a Grand Slam champion. And you could argue that was the performance of someone who deserves to go to WrestleMania to challenge for the WWE Championship. As Orton celebrates his win here, you got to think what kind of implications this will have going forward. Whether or not this will confirm Randy Orton as the #1 contender. Hang on a sec. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have just been told next week, already, we're going to get the matchup. Kyle O'Reilly and Randy Orton will square off next week, even though Orton is the #1 contender and should be getting that opportunity at WrestleMania. If Kyle O'Reilly wins, it will be a triple threat for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. What a way to end off SmackDown.